everyone, to another exciting episode of the Team Lead Talks podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Becker, out of Alexandria, Virginia. On today's episode, someone that I had an amazing conversation with a couple of weeks ago. Everyone, let's welcome Stephen Bennett of ATH Consulting Services. Welcome, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Andrew?
Good. So, Stephen, let's just hop right into this. For those listening that might not know who you are yet, let's just hear a 2-minute, this is who I am and this is what I do.
Okay, my name's Stephen Bennett, of course, and I'm in Dallas, Texas. I started out as a modular builder 25 years ago in site-built homes. Recently, I want to say within the last 10 years, I've been helping other builders and developers get financing for their projects.
Okay. So you help build homes in just your state or all over the U.S.? Where do you actually do this work?
I was actually just doing it in North Texas.
Just in North Texas.
Yeah, both modular and site-built.
Okay. Yeah, the modular stuff is interesting, Stephen. You shared a story with me that I thought was pretty funny, but very impressive. The way you kind of actually, let me just have you tell the story. Can you share that with us? It's just so interesting to me.
Yeah, when I first got started 25 years ago in the modular space, nobody was doing them here in North Texas. And what I found out is that there was only one factory at the time that was building maybe one or two of them a year. And that was out in Athens, Texas. It was Champion Redmond Homes.
Mm-hmm.
And the amazing thing about it is modular homes are like between 90 and 93% complete when they're delivered.
Yeah.
So like when you do a site-built home, it's like a 16,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. This takes that out of the equation. So what you do is you prep the land. First you buy a lot, and then you prep the land and put the foundation in. We did concrete runners with piers.
Okay.
Then you stub up the utilities. And let's say that takes, a week and a half, 2 weeks to get all that done. And then by that time, you have already ordered the home. And when you order the home, it takes maybe 2 weeks. I think it took me 2 weeks to get them because they weren't building mass production of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had the house delivered. And when it was delivered, it took about another week and a half to 2 weeks to complete as far as having the house delivered, set, closed up, and finished out and put the driveway in, do all the hookups and everything. It's an amazing process, and it's much quicker than site-built homes.
Yeah.
But the story that you're referencing at the beginning of this conversation is when I went to pull permits in the city of Dallas. And the first time I went there, I had all my paperwork together and went and submitted it to an examiner. And he took one look through everything, and he denied it. And I looked at him and I said, why are you denying this? And he goes, if we took the time to tell everybody what's wrong with their paperwork, we'd never get anything done. And then he handed it to me. And I said, look, give me some idea of what's wrong here. And he goes, your paperwork's wrong, and just handed it to me. I mean,
very helpful.
Extremely helpful.
Yeah.
So I called the factory and I called the state that issued my license. And I said, look, I'm having issues here. They're saying that my paperwork's not right. And so I drove out to the factory the next day. And then the next day after that, I drove to the state in Austin and met with them. And I said, can you help me figure out what's wrong with this paperwork? Because I've checked off all the boxes. And they said, your paperwork's correct. Everything's, both the factory and the state said that. But both of them said, if you're trying to do these homes in the city limits of Dallas, good luck. People have been trying for 30 years and they won't let you do it. And the thing is, Jimmy Carter signed an executive order saying that affordable housing includes modular and they can be built in the inner cities. And I'm like, there's got to be a way to get this done.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep running into these challenges, like the permit thing.
Right.
And so everybody I knew that was doing site-built homes knew nothing about modular, or there wasn't anybody I could call, is what I'm getting at. And mobile homes are absolutely forbidden in the inner cities unless they're in a park. Talking to somebody in the mobile home space was not any help because they don't pull permits for modular. They pull permits for manufactured homes.
Okay.
Completely different. Modular is blue label and manufactured homes is red label. So I go back to the city the next day after everyone tells me my paperwork's correct again. And I get the same guy and he does the same thing to me. He takes one look at it, goes through the paperwork. He's going through it and he goes, "You're denied again." And this happened 8 times. I mean, I went back and forth and I was calling everybody on the planet to figure out what's wrong. 25 years ago, it was very difficult to get anybody. It's not like we have the internet as today and information and how you can talk to AI and get some answers. They
That
needed,
did not exist. It was just like a
yeah. So,
network
oh
that you had
yeah,
to, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I get to the point where it's the ninth time, and my wife, my friends, everyone's just going, "Bennett, you're nuts. Why are you doing this? Go back to site built." And I'm like, there's got to be a way to get this done. I
Yeah.
mean, there's something that's missing. So in the building permits office, if you sign in at 8 o'clock in the morning, you don't know when they'll call you.
Hmm.
Okay, it can be anywhere from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. So I sign in, and they didn't. And if you get up to use the restroom or grab something to eat, and they call your name and you're not there, you get bypassed,
Yeah.
and you have to start over again. So I get there, and I waited there, did not eat, didn't use the restroom or anything, and they called me at about 3:30. I'm like the last person because they'd seen me there many times before, and they call me in. I go into a different office, and it's a different guy. It's not the same guy that I kept getting that was denying me.
Right.
And the guy goes, "Hey, aren't you the guy that rides that Indian motorcycle?" And I go, "Yeah, that's me." And he goes, "Man, I'm your neighbor." And I'm like, "That's great." And then I piled all my paperwork in front of him. I go, "What am I doing wrong here, man? I keep getting denied." And he's going through it, and he goes, "You don't have the insurance binder for the police escort into the city." And I go, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Yeah, anything that's modular, 53 feet or 50 feet or longer or something." He was explaining to me, you have to have a police escort because it's dangerous. And so they need to block traffic and everything. And I go, "You're telling me if I get an insurance policy for this police escort, you'll give me permits? Is that what you're telling me?" And he says, "Yeah." I go, "I'll be back here tomorrow." So I went and called my insurance company, and my insurance company referred me to another, which referred me to another, which referred me to another. I ended up with an insurance company in Houston, and they signed the binder, and they sent me over um, by email the binder, the insurance policy. And sure enough, I went the next morning, met with my neighbor,
Hmm.
and he said, "I'll give you permits right now." I go,
Awesome.
I go, I go, "You don't know what I've been through." And I explained to him, and he's like, "If we took the time to explain everything to everyone, we'd never get anything." I go, "I'm done hearing that forever."
Yes. You accomplished what you set out to do. That's really cool. Persistence, people. That's the
Yeah.
key.
Yeah. So anything's possible as long as you have the right information. The frustrating part is people do not share information like they should.
Yeah.
Be helpful to someone else.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to get into this industry, into the modular space, I am more than willing to help them to whatever extent that I can within my limitations.
Very cool. Such an amazing story. It reminded me when you were telling me that story. I had shared with you that I kind of have a similar story, not as awesome as yours, just around probates. I had told you I'm really into probates. Kind of the same thing. Not to make it an aside conversation, but going into a court asking for like probate files, you get what's a probate file, and you're like, what are you talking about? Like I have, and the people that I teach to do that, Stephen, we now have ChatGPT and Google and a lot of stuff that you did not have. So it just makes your story so much more impressive. But
There is one more part to this story, though.
oh, yeah, go ahead. Tell. Yeah, I forgot about this part.
Yeah, it's kind of like the punchline
Yeah.
because the whole thing's a joke. The funniest part of this whole thing, I was so excited that I got permits. I called the factory, went out there and showed them, and they said, "There's no way you got permits. We want to see them." So I went out there and showed them. Then
Yeah.
I called the state, and they go, "There's no way you got permits from the city of Dallas." So the next day I went out and showed them. They absolutely were blown away. But here's the funniest part of all. I was so excited that I was doing this, I forgot to notify the police for the escort. I mean, I totally spaced out
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
forgot to notify them, for the police escort into the city. And we did it, and we didn't get nailed for it.
Nice.
I hope nobody on this show rats me out, but it was.
Yeah, the statute of limitations has probably far exceeded anything that you need to be worried about. So you're probably good. But we can edit that part out too if you if you don't want to have this recorded.
Now we just leave it in.
Yeah, okay, okay. So you got your modular permit, the first person in the entire city of Dallas to get permits for modular homes. What did you do after that, Stephen? And then I'd love to get into what HEH does and how you can help people.
Sure. So I did that. And then all of a sudden, I'm this modular guru with the factory, and they're telling everybody, all the other builders and developers, within their network. And I'm getting phone calls like crazy. And next thing I know, I'm consulting other people on how to do it. And I was actually making more money consulting than I was building.
So was that the shift, Stephen?
Yes.
Okay. From builder, operator to consultant because so many people were impressed by how you're able to accomplish that.
Yeah. And they were blown away. I mean, I can't tell you how many people have told me over the years. Most people give up after the second time.
Yeah.
I mean, and rightfully so, because it's frustrating when somebody doesn't share information with you. That little piece of information changed everything.
Good thing you were a motorcycle rider.
Yeah.
And you had an Indian that was loud enough for your neighbor to notice it and notice you. And then you happened to go in and he was sitting at that desk.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it's not a real Indian. It's a copy of a 1948 Indian.
Okay. Okay.
It was made by Vulcan. It was a special limited edition, but it was beautiful. And
Awesome.
it got a lot of attention.
Yeah. 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 Well, good that you got that attention because that seems like that was the icing on the cake there that got you across the finish line. So let's.
It's amazing. You don't know who knows you.
Yeah. Yeah. Or who's watching, right? So very cool. So let's transition to ATH.
Sure.
Tell us what you do there specifically, how you help people.
Okay, so I transitioned from the modular and the construction, both modular and site built, and builders were asking me, how do you get these lots? And I went from a guy who couldn't afford to be in a subdivision because developers want you to take down 10, 20 lots at a time. I couldn't afford that.
Mm-hmm.
I was a one or two lot at a time guy. Next thing I know, I'm the go-to guy for small, medium-sized builders. Developers were all over me.
Yeah.
And that was like in 2003, 2007, before the market crashed.
Mm-hmm.
I was networking with about 300 builders in the DFW area, which was a lot of small,
Yeah.
medium-sized builders,
Yeah.
and about 16 different developers. And I had access to like maybe 125 different subdivisions and about 7,000 lots.
Okay.
I mean, I had builders lined up outside the door of my office trying to get lots because, especially in subdivisions, because small and medium sized builders typically are limited to infill lots.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know how to get into subdivisions because, like, DR Horton doesn't want a small builder in there who can undercut what their price point is.
Yeah.
And so one thing led to another, which leads to another. Like, the builders kept asking me, and developers, they kept saying, that's great that you have access to all this land and these lots and, paper lots and everything. Can you help us with the financing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anybody? And after about 3 or 4 people asking me that, I go, I need to get into this.
Yeah.
And so I got into that and was helping builders get financing, both land loans, development loans, and construction loans. I don't do perm loans because, you need a license to do that, like a mortgage license. And in the state of Texas, you just have to have when it's commercial, you don't have to do that.
Okay.
You don't have that license.
So, Stephen, the people you help, I'm trying to understand the avatar or your perfect customer. So I'm a builder in your area, just in Dallas City or like the state of Texas or where. But then what does that relationship look like if someone wants to reach out that's listening today It's like, hey, I'm a builder in Texas and Dallas specifically. Steven's talking my language, but I need help. Where do you kind of like enter into the conversation, or walk me through if I walk into your office and say, hey, I need your help, Steven? What's that conversation go like?
It could lead a couple of different ways. It can go, the consulting part of it, as far as if you want to get into modular construction, I can show you from A to Z how to
Mm-hmm.
do that. And I have a fee structure for that.
Okay.
I do it nationwide. I talk to people all across the nation and actually across the world. I've got connections all over the place. The financing part of it is limited to both Canada and the United States,
Okay.
helping them finance their projects. And I can also give them templates to show how to structure. A lot of people don't know how to do budgets and summaries. Summaries are the most critical point. Most people put together business plans that are, 200 pages long. Nobody has time to read all that. So you have to condense it all down into 3 pages.
Okay.
And I have templates for that also.
Who would these summaries be going to? For those that don't know what you're referring to right now, why would someone need to have a 3-page summary?
Because people don't have much time to review things, and usually, if you can convey it in three pages, they're more inclined to respond.
I guess let me rephrase that. Who is the one reviewing? Is this the banks trying to get?
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't deal with banks at all. I deal with private lenders,
Okay.
pension fund companies, insurance companies, mainly private lenders.
Okay. So you teach people how to make the best, most efficient use of their time reviewing whatever it is that they need to review.
Correct. I know what doesn't work because I've
Right.
been there.
Yeah.
You know
It
what
sounds
does?
like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what does work now.
Yeah, yeah. So you can walk a builder who knows somewhat what they're doing and just make their operation incredibly efficient and effective by not having to go through the trial and errors that you went through over your multiple decades of being in this business.
Right. I tell people I've been kicked so many times I can tell you what brand boot it is.
Yeah, that's a
I
lot
mean,
of times getting kicked.
yeah, and the truth is, if you present something and it's not in the right format, they'll just bypass it.
Right.
It'll just go right in the trash, and they won't tell you. And they don't even email you back and say, "Hey, you've been rejected." They just let it go.
Yeah.
And the people that I deal with, I have a relationship with. You know, I can correspond with them and ask them. I go, what's lacking, what's missing, what needs to be worked on. I know all the keywords to ask
Yeah.
and get to it and help most of the people, help them, get the loan and get on with their business.
Yeah. If you're listening now and you're in the Texas area or just a builder, I think you had said you help people anywhere, right? In the United States and Canada. Steven, how does somebody get in touch with you? Where can they find you to start these conversations?
Number one, they can find me on LinkedIn under Stephen D. Bennett, ATH Consulting Services. And that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is Stephen at athconsultingservices.com.
Cool.
And I'm all over the internet. I mean, if you Google my name or my company name, there's hundreds of things about me on there.
Awesome, man. Well, we'll also include that your contact info in the description of the episode. So look down below if you want to connect with Steven. Man, thank you so much for being here. I love hearing that story about getting the permits. It just, again, it gave me PTSD about the probate stuff. But the moral of the story there is find the right person willing to help you and kill them with kindness. Don't go into anytime you're trying to get something like a permit or a file or anything from an entity like that, especially if it's a government entity. Kill them with kindness. Keep at it. You will find what you need and you will get accomplished what you need to get accomplished by never quitting.
Yeah, be persistent. If you know that you're right, be persistent,
Yeah,
and you'll get there. And
exactly.
it helps if you run into the right people.
Yes, and ride a motorcycle if through your neighborhood a lot so people notice you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll end on that, Steven. Thank you so much for being here, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, take care.
Thank you.